We have fire. It's burning down pretty good now. Just wasted all this time and effort. Let's give this another shot. Hello, welcome back to another episode from Pale Horse Survival and Tactical. I'm Bill. Glad you could join me. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to grow microgreens using the jar method. Microgreens are basically baby plants, and due to their small compact size, they're a powerhouse of nutrition. They're 10 to 40% higher in nutrient content than their mature counterparts, making them highly nutritious. They're really good in wraps, they're good in salads, very tasty, very good flavor to them. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to demonstrate the jar method, and but first we're going to make some lids, and I'm going to demonstrate how to do that also. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back. I have the jar here. This is one of the, I'm just using wide mouth mason jars, and this isn't the tall mason jar. I'm not even sure what size this is. I just happen to have a couple of these available, so this is what I'm going to use, but you can use the larger ones if you prefer. So what you do here is for the tops of these, you can use cheesecloth. Basically, we're constructing a strainer at the top, and you can take a couple layers of cheesecloth, put it over the top of the jar, and then use a rubber band around the mouth once we have the seeds inside. And that's basically when we're rinsing the seeds, we don't lose the seeds. So whatever we put over the top acts as a strainer to allow the water out, and also to allow air in so that we don't get any mildew building up inside. Allows for air circulation. You can also buy lids that are specifically designed for sprouting the seeds. You can get them on eBay and probably Amazon. They're a little pricey. I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. I like to build things, so I decided to make my own. And I went to the dollar store in search of a wire mesh strainer that I was going to take the wire, the mesh, out of the framework and then flatten it out, was my original plan, and then cut the mesh part out of the wire to use on the tops of these. And I ran across a splash shield for $1 over at the dollar store. This goes over a fry pan, keeps grease from splashing all over the stove, like if you're frying bacon or whatever. And this works out perfectly. It's nice and flat, and it's a real fine mesh, so we won't have those little seeds. I'm going to be doing sprouting alfalfa seeds. So we're going to be doing alfalfa sprouts here. The seeds are pretty small, so this fine mesh will keep the seeds from passing through the weave and losing them in the sink. So with that said, the way we're going to do this is you take the lid from the mason jar. This is the sealing type lid, not the ring. And we're going to place this on the mesh, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my outlines now while the mesh is in the framework, so it's kind of stretched tight. And And I get quite a few out of this thing. Well, I have 2 jars, so I'm going to cut 2 strainers. So I just have a regular Sharpie here. Just draw around the perimeter of the lid. There's one. And get another one over here for jar number 2. Okay, so I think the real trick is going to be getting this wire out of this framework, and I'm not really sure how we're going to do that, so I'm just going to, if we can get it to come loose in the back here, hopefully we can get it to loosen up. I've never dismantled one of these, just for the record. We'll get the framework to separate here. We're getting it to rock here. That looks like it worked more or less. Do this without screwing up the mesh. Alright, here we go. Alright, that wasn't too bad. And I'm going to put something down here on my wool blanket. I don't want to get a bunch of little metal pieces all on my wools. Stay tuned, I'm going to see what I can do about this. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Just put down a few strips of paper towels here. I didn't want to get all the little fine pieces of wire stuck in my wool blanket here, so. Alright, then we'll just take this. Probably isn't the best thing for a pair of scissors, so if you have an expensive pair of scissors, I wouldn't recommend doing this. Well, there's one, and now that you guys get the idea, I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera and get the other one cut out. Stay tuned. Okay, I've got both of our pieces of mesh cut out here, and they fit right inside the ring, and that's all there is to it. And it's a very cost-effective way of making some wire strainers for this purpose here. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to wash these jars out thoroughly, and then we'll move to the next phase of the video. Stay tuned, I will be back. Hey, welcome back. Okay, what I did, I thoroughly cleaned the jars out with soap and very hot water. That minimizes the risk of any bacterial contamination or getting mold that'll start in the inside the jar. And I picked up some alfalfa seeds, these off of eBay, and this is from seedkingdom.com. There's a grower on there. These are organic alfalfa seeds. Normally the amount you want to put in the tall mason jars is a good tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. These are smaller jars or shorter, so I'm going to go a half a tablespoon in each one, so we don't wind up with too many sprouts crowding the jar. As they grow, they'll fill the jar up. So there is a half a tablespoon in each one. I'll go ahead and reposition the camera, and we'll move to the next step. Okay, so what we're going to do is, still got hot water here, I want to cool it down. I want to rinse the seeds first with cool water. We'll fill these up about halfway. We'll go ahead and put the mesh in the rings. Make sure it's seated. We don't want to lose seeds. Make sure it's seated down inside the ring here. There we go. Sure it's snug, so we don't have any gaps. And then just simply dump the water. Didn't lose any seeds, so the mesh worked really good in that aspect. And no need to take the lids off, we'll just add water. You'll see some of the seeds have stuck to the mesh at the top, so you just use the stream of water to rinse them back down in there. So this is the first rinse. Or that was the first rinse, this is the second rather. Give them a gentle swirl. And dump. Now we're going to put water back in. Make sure you rinse any seeds that have stuck to the top back down into the water. Fill it up about halfway. And now these have to soak for 24 hours. So they're going to go ahead and let these soak, and at the end of 24 hours we're going to dump the water out just like we did, and then we're going to put water back in to about halfway roughly, and then we're going to dump the water back out. That's the rinse, and then the jars will go on these stands inverted at an angle, and these stands you can put them in a saucer or a plate, and that allows the jars to drain, and the mesh allows air to get in and circulate. We'll go through every 12 hours. You have to go through a rinse and drain cycle, then place back into the stand here inverted, and it'll take about 3 days, maybe 4 days before the seeds sprout, and it'll be probably roughly 6 days, maybe 7, before they'll be ready to harvest. And they're ready to harvest when the sprouts, and I'm sure all of you have seen alfalfa sprouts at salad bars. It's the same thing. Sprouts are about 2 inches, 3 inches long. There'll be 2 little leaves at the top, and then the stem, and the little stem and root. And when they reach about 2 inches, 3 inches roughly, the jar should be pretty well full, halfway at the very least, with the sprouts. And that's when they reach that length, they're ready to harvest. So we'll go ahead and go through the drain and rinse cycle, and when I come back, we should have some sprouts in the jar here, and I'll kind of document the germination and the growth process up to harvesting. But that's pretty much all there is to it. It's pretty easy. And these stands here I got off of eBay. I got 2 stands for about $4. They're actually pretty nice. They're rubber coated and adjustable, so you can adjust the angle, and they work pretty well in that aspect. So you just go to eBay and punch in sprout stands, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but you'll find them on there. They're not hard to find. So, and other than that, that's pretty much it. See you guys pretty soon. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm back. I just wanted to add one other thing. You don't want to put these in direct sun. You can put them on a windowsill as long as it doesn't get direct sunlight. Even after they sprout, you don't want to put them in the sun. So if you do, it'll cause algae and stuff to grow inside the jar. So, but just a bright windowsill is fine. It'll work perfect. See you soon. Hey, checking in with an update. It's been 3 days now, and the sprouts, microgreens, are coming along pretty good here. They've have a pretty good germination rate here, and you can see, get you in frame here, you can see the embryonic leaves, little green embryonic leaves in here, also known in botanical terms as cotyledons. There's one right there. You can see a lot of the little leaves. So they're coming along pretty decent. I'm thinking probably 3 more days until harvest. And I'm rinsing these every 12 hours. So what I do is I just hold them under the faucet in the sink with some cool water, and not a very strong stream. I don't want to blast them, and I don't even take the cap off. I just lightly rinse everything through the mesh top, and I fill the jars up about 3/4 of the way, and then turn them carefully on their side and slowly decanter the water off through the mesh, and then I return them back to the racks here, so they're at an angle to continue draining. And so every 12 hours, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And once they're about 2 or 3 inches in length, they'll be ready to harvest. Those cotyledons, the embryonic leaves, will get a little bit bigger too as they grow. And I just have them on the kitchen table under the kitchen light. It's nothing, no special lighting or anything. And so far they're coming along. So I will check back in and monitor the progress here within another day or two, and we'll take another look at them. Stay tuned, I shall return. Okay, it's been exactly 7 days now, and the sprouts have come along pretty nicely. You can see this jar is filled up, and the sprouts are probably a couple inches long, maybe 2.5. And I don't believe I put as many seeds into this one. I don't think I had the little 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon filled up all the way. If I remember, there was a little bit less seed in there. So, but for this size jar, the short mason jar, 1/2 teaspoon seems to be a pretty good amount. And I'll just have to make sure I level the spoons off from now on. But they come out pretty good. Pretty happy with them. I'm getting ready to harvest these, and I have enough to as a topping on I don't know, probably four salads. I'll put a pretty good sized pinch on top of each salad. I wanted to share with you guys where I let me turn the light off on the camera here so we don't get the glare on my phone. I wanted to share with you guys where I get my seeds, sprout seeds, on eBay. And I'm not affiliated with these guys in any ways. I'm just a customer, and these are a trusted source. And they have a lot of non-GMO seed on there, and I'm pretty pleased with their quality. So, but it's a True Leaf Market. You can find them by their username, and really good folks. Really, really good product. You can hit sellers other items here, give you an idea. They sell all kinds of stuff on here. A lot of sprouting seeds. Prices are really good too. Broccoli, clover, then they have the mix, alfalfa, broccoli, and radish all into one. I might pick up some of those next. I just did the alfalfa here. And I mean, they got all kinds of stuff on here, so go on there and check them out if you want, or you can find somebody else. But these guys here I know have good products, so I just wanted to share that with all of you. So just to recap what I did here, I originally soaked the seeds, washed the jars out really good with soap and hot water, and then put your desired amount of seed in the jar. In this case, it was a 1/2 teaspoon per jar, a little bit less in this one. And let them soak for 24 hours. And then you pour the water off, and then put the jars at a slant. You can put them in a bowl if you don't have the stand, so you can just stand them up in a bowl, and they'll achieve just about the right angle. You'll have to get the right size bowl that will accommodate the jars. either both in a bowl at once or single bowls, one per bowl. And then just every 12 hours, just gently fill the jars up underneath the tap with cold water, and then gently pour the water off and put it back in your bowl or in your stands. And that's all you do every 12 hours, and then just let them grow. Don't put them in direct sun. We've had a lot of rain here, really no sun at all. So I've had these on the kitchen table underneath the under the kitchen light, and they've done pretty well. But you can put them near a window or whatever, just as long as they don't get direct sunlight. That's pretty much all you do, and just let them go till they get the desired length, 2 or 3 inches, and then all you do at that point is take the lid off and fill it up with water, pour the water off, then take the lid off rather, and then cover this. You can put plastic wrap over the top and place it in your refrigerator, and not at a slant, put it right side up after the water's poured off, and just rinse them once a day. And I would use them up within probably 3 or 4 days, so they don't spoil on you and start getting slimy. But if you rinse them out once a day and use them up pretty quickly, you shouldn't have any problem. But they're really nutritious. So that's all there is to it, guys. A little more self-sufficiency there, and a little do-it-yourself things you can do at home. So hope all of you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Hope all of you are having an outstanding day or night, depending on where you are located, and I will see all of you very soon on the next one. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.